Hi everyone, my name is Kate Kalthoff and welcome to a Stamping to Share video. Guess what? We have new celebration items in the house, and this was a second release celebration item that's called Eclectic Expressions. And it looks like this. So you have thank you and happy birthday as your two sentiments. And then you have all these wonderful kind of grungy things here that you can do in the background. So this really appealed to me, number one, because I love making my own backgrounds. And number two, I really liked the kind of line detail in this happy birthday. I think it looks kind of masculine. And I thought, well, you know, my dad actually kind of likes sparkly cards. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to make a glittery, sparkly, masculine card. So that is what I did with this card. And I used the happy birthday from Eclectic Expressions. And you can see that the background is created also with that stamp set. And then on the inside, I just have a couple of little of those eclectic poofs of color, and it just makes it look so nice. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that we're going to do is grab our card base, and that is going to be 4 1/4 by 11 inches, scored at 5 1/2, and the color I'm using is Dapper Denim, which is one of our in colors. And so let me go ahead and fold this along the score line. I'll use a bone folder to give this a nice crease. And then we're going to go ahead and do the inside panel since there's not that much to it. This is 4 by 5 1/4, and let me grab a piece of scrap paper here. And what I'm going to do is using Dapper Denim ink, I'm just going to ink this up, and we are going to put a couple of poofs of color here in the bottom left, and then repeat that same look up in the upper right. And now we can go ahead and we'll just take a bit of snail on the back, run that along the top, and then we can set this inside of our card. And that is our inside panel. So nice and quick, and then you can personalize this any way that you wish with another stamp sentiment or perhaps just writing a note. And so now let's go ahead and work with some washi tape. So I have a piece of Whisper White here, and it's 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. And I'm going to use the Myths and Magic washi tape. This is really pretty and sparkly, and it's so much fun. It's very nice to decorate scrapbook pages or cards. And we are just going to take this and run the stars along this bottom edge. And we want it nice and flush with the bottom. So let me go ahead and make sure that I get it nice and flush. That way we'll know that everything is going on nice and straight. And we're just going to leave these edges kind of hanging here for the moment. Then we're going to take the clear one, or it's actually kind of a Dazzling Diamonds one, and we're going to set that right up next to it. Give that a nice press. And again, we're just going to cut that off. And then this one we're going to put along the top. So let me add that in here along the top. And then we're also going to put that just above that little Dazzling Diamonds piece down here. That looks great. The next thing to do is to just trim up everything so that we have everything nice and even. So to do that, I like to just flip it over, and then I can get in there with my scissors and just cut these edges off so that they are flush with my card panel. There we go. So now we have the panel that we're going to do our stamping on. To stamp our sentiment, we're going to bring in some basic black archival ink, and then I have the happy birthday on a block here, and we're just going to go ahead and stamp happy birthday right in here. Perfect. So this is what it looks like, and now we're just ready to do some layering. And I think we're going to go ahead too and stamp our outside panel. So we've got our Dapper Denim card base here, and we're just going to take Dapper Denim ink and then those little poofs, and we're just going to start layering those in. And there it is, all ready to layer up some other things on here. So we're going to put a panel of silver foil down. This is 3 1/8 by 4 1/8. So I'm just going to take some snail again on the back of this, and we'll set this right in the center of our Dapper Denim card base. And that looks good. And now we'll set this aside while we work again with our other panel. So let me bring this back into the picture, and we're going to layer this up with a piece of basic black. So this layer is 2 7/8 by 3 3/8. And again, I'm going to put that on with some snail. And because it's a 1/8 inch layer, I'm going to make sure that I see what I am doing here. So I'm going to just lay a piece of white scrap paper down, put my black panel down, and then I can go ahead and just holding it in the corners, I can kind of hoover it over the top. And as long as this corner and this corner look even, I know that everything's going to line up nice and even, provided I've cut it straight. And it looks like I did a good job. The next thing we are going to do is a little bit of a wrap. So this is some solid black baker's twine, and I'm going to wrap that around twice, and then we'll cut that off and tie it off. So to make my tie off here, I'm going to tie it off in a knot first, and then I will tie it off into a bow. So here is my knot, and then I'll do the bow. And that looks pretty good. So then you can just kind of fiddle with that a little bit and get it looking just like you want it to. And then of course we can move that around because we don't have anything on the back here. There's no dimensionals or anything interfering with where we want this. So that looks pretty good. So then I can come in with a scissors and just trim off this long edge here. And then we can go ahead and we'll put some dimensionals on the back. As you can see, I use 5 dimensionals on the back, and now I'm just going to flip this around, bring my card into the picture, and we're just going to center this in right over the top of that silver foil that we've already attached to our card base. Give that a press, and we have our completed card. So here's your masculine sparkly card. Not for every guy, I'm sure, but I know my dad will love it. And so here's the one I just made. Here's the one I had made in advance. So thank you so much for being a part of my Stamping to Share community. I truly appreciate you. If you'd like to place a product order, be sure to visit my blog at www.stampingtoshare.com. Have a great day. Bye-bye.